Zoom. All over the world now we're live. We've just gone live. We're here, Tea Time with Teal, and we're in a beautiful cafe, Hugo's Cafe. There we are.
That's Grassi.
Grassi.
Hi, I'm Blake.
There's Blake. And we're looking out over the mountains. There's Redstone. Some of you who know Park City, Kimball Junction area. Here's historic city. And so Teal is excited.
You guys?
Yes. You can?
Yeah.
We'll turn it around.
Guys...
The thing is, we're talking Periscope now.
We are talking Periscope, yes.
Which is fun.
Yeah, prepare Will, because guess what? He's selling me on the idea of Periscope, so.
What am I, like the third one?
Fifth.
The fifth one who's come across this Periscope idea. So that's kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. I really think I'm going to do it.
Yeah. It's so natural.
So what do you think is the beauty?
You don't go back and try to edit some stuff in
Oh,
and edit it out. Right. And the way we live our lives is we're teaching some pretty profound stuff because we're learning it. We're going through the experiences, and it's why we're doing it. But we can take the whole universe with us if we want to, and I just feel there's something great about live streaming and putting stuff out so people can really see who you are. They don't want to see you just in a certain setting in a studio. They want to kind of see you when you're in a cafe or maybe with your partner, getting married, and you've got all that joy and there's all that energy there.
The background is so
Live
pretty.
stream the wedding.
You've got hearts coming up, and they're saying that the background
and that's
is
what they
pretty.
do. There's no sense. They just send hearts. They tap the screen, and they send hearts. And they have different colors, right? Can you tell?
Oh, it's growing now.
What do we got? What kind of colors do we got?
Green, blue, purple, orange.
These are like a stream of hearts, and then they just send their love that way.
I love you guys.
You know how cats do. When you're with a cat that you love, and they just look on, they do the love blinks across the room. You know, that's what the hearts are.
It's like purring.
Yes.
Michigan.
Michigan. Oh, people from all around.
Hello from Alpine.
Yeah. And so it's just a technology that we can use. And now that you got your first smartphones,
Yes.
that's going to be fun for you.
Yeah, guess what? Okay, so basically this is my confession. I have not had a smartphone until like a week ago. I got really frustrated because my precious little BlackBerry, which didn't even get internet service or couldn't get pictures, basically became incompatible. People would send me messages and I wouldn't get them anymore because technology had gone so far. So I was like, all right, the time has come.
You and Obama you're the BlackBerry people in the world.
And I can't figure my phone out yet. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do?
What kind of phone do you have?
It's like what do I have?
It's an iPhone.
Yeah,
it's like
a smaller version.
It's a little smaller version of the iPhone.
Yeah.
So, they've got everything you need. That's your studio. Spectacular camera. You can get them with enough. How much memory do you have in the phone? That might be.
Right, she knows all about my phone.
That's good. Because we talked about this catch.com thing, so that you don't need to store it on your phone. You can uncheck a button so you don't start using up all your memory with your videos. And yeah, it's a cool thing.
What are you drinking?
What am I having?
Yes.
I got a chai, the tail end of the foam of the chai tea. But it looks like a flower in there, if you look.
It does.
If I turn it sideways, will it turn you guys sideways?
You can try and you can do it whatever you want. You can...
Everybody give us some feedback. Is she sideways?
Video. We'll see how it looks sideways.
Does this work? Say yes or no.
Right. They can type in their feedback.
Yeah.
Should Teal go to Periscope or remain on? Yes, it's sideways. We have to be very specific with our questions.
Yeah, I got no. Yes, it's sideways.
Yes. Well, maybe we can share about you're going to put this. You've already put it out to the Teal tribe about doing something in the Uintas. Are you going to do it like up in a camping area?
Yeah. Well, the place we have is Pine Valley Campground.
Here we can change camera persons. So Blake can show.
So we're going to do a Teal Tribe gathering. Well, we're probably not going to call it Teal Tribe because anybody can come, but we're going to do a gathering up in the Uintas, July 18th and 19th, and it's at the Pine Valley Campground. And
Blake hates being on camera. So
okay. And then
You know that from living with him all these years. He
Yeah.
says, "Why do you bring my issues up when I'm in the middle of announcing
What's the shadow work time
doing the
now?
promo work, and you're bringing my issues up?"
Well, you should see the amount of memes that people have created of Blake and I, because Blake has basically been my guinea pig for the last 12 years. Like, they've made all these memes of, like, him with an apple on his head and me aiming at it, like, just hold still, Blake. We're gonna try another process. So he's pretty used to being, like, thrown under the bus for the sake of other people's expansion.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
You're doing it for the whole.
And I'm doing it, and I created this, you know. I always joke.
Own it. That's
I
the
always,
first time I've heard you say that.
well, I always joke that I was like, that I've got this crazy life that I've lived with Teal, and it's just my one word for it is epic. And I don't know how I got into it, but then I joke that I got into it because I was the most avoidant person on the planet. And but yeah, I mean, I did it for my own expansion. So here I am. So, anyways, Teal Tribe Gathering Facebook, you can find it. And then sign up, and we'll have a good time. Yeah.
It's good because you guys, they call me. I had smartphones for some years. Started off with the little booths and putting dimes in phone booths and like in the Matrix, or calling. It was weird. It was kind of a Matrix-esque kind of thing. But the thing I like about it is, once I got happy, then the Spirit said, now we need to extend this. And I think that's part of what we do, is we have a gift that we have to extend. And so I like to use movies. I've pretty much over the last 10 years have generated, people know about the show, and over thousands of movies. And when I get active, helps them zoom in to the key lessons, and people have gone into altered states. I've had people, like with instead of LSD, ecstasy, ayahuasca, they do movies with me, and we just had one with this hippie community in Topanga Canyon last night, where they all called the tribe together. They said, David's here, he got here spontaneously, and we're going to watch a movie. I said we're going to watch Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson in the movie The Island.
Okay.
And I spent, between my commentary and the movie, it took us about 6 hours till 3:33 in the morning. Then I already had 4 hours sleep on an 18-hour flight from all the way through, and then I got a few more hours sleep, and here we are doing this. But I get energized in the Spirit, in what is it underneath this world that we're all searching for, and how can we go there in the most fun, enjoyable way. And people like movies, and they relax everyone. We're neighbors here,
you're
probably
a movie
half an
buff, is
hour.
what you're saying.
I'm a movie buff, and I did this pathway to God called Movie Watcher's Guide to Enlightenment.
Really?
And I put it online, and now people, they come on for their movie of the night. They get the Chinese, order the Chinese, whatever, get in the comfort of their home around the world, and then I take them on a journey of maybe 3 or 4 hours, where I'm giving them all these deep non-dualistic metaphysics, and then we go in during the movie, and the Spirit can see so much more, like these quantum movies, like Next with Nicolas Cage, and how to see the world in a quantum way.
What do you think of Inception?
Oh, I loved it. That was one of those blockbusters that I thought.
Oh my gosh! I was like, I watched it the first time, and I was like, oh my god! Like, I have to watch it like 8 more times.
I know, that's what I felt. Like Layers of Dreaming. That's the first one that had like we need a big kick because we're so many layers down.
I really struggled to explain to people what out of body was like to somebody who's never done out of body until that movie came out, and then I could perfectly explain what it's like to essentially jump to these other dimensional levels that have no sense of time. And then to come back to this one where there is linear time, and to be so damn disoriented by it because no time passes, whereas an entire lifetime can pass. I love that it gave me that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that movie Time Traveler's Wife. Did you ever see that?
Yes,
where he's so disoriented every single time.
Hey, I got to tell you.
I met the screenwriter of that too, just recently, Bruce.
Wow.
Yeah, he's cool.
I have a good story to tell. So basically, how many years ago was that? That was like it was 7 years ago. Or 6. 7 or 6 years ago, basically, I walked downstairs after getting home, and Blake is downstairs wrapped up in a blanket, bawling. Like, I can actually hear him. It was a snuggie. Yeah, he was wrapped up in a snuggie, like, bawling. And I'm like, what is going on with Blake? So I walk downstairs. He's watching the time traveler's life
that's what I
by
do.
himself bawling.
himself.
So, yeah.
Because it kind of takes you into this
Blake's
transcendent
guilty
experience. You're like sent to a transcendent experience, weren't you? Because I was by the end. I
I
felt
didn't
all
even
this
know what
love.
had happened. I've
Yeah.
never cried like that during it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
and opened the floodgates.
Well, the funny thing was,
like Machu Picchu.
I loved Time Taylor's wife, and then all of a sudden, I'm starting to meet filmmakers and everything, Hollywood producers and everything,
Yeah.
and then this man named Bruce, he's like, oh yeah, he's the screenwriter. He that's his movie, Time Traveler's Wife. He did Time Traveler's Wife. What else did he do? Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost. You mean with them?
Wow.
And I started to watch. Oh my God, this guy is tapped in.
Nice.
So then I go out and meet him and his wife, and he's retired pretty much now, but he was like. He was kind of fascinated that I use movies in gatherings to help people jump into these deep states of consciousness.
Well, it's a
Or-
genius idea.
Yes, to explain these things that we're having experiences, but we don't always have the language. So I call the movies like the modern day parables. Like Jesus used parables, we've got Hollywood.
Have you been to the Illuminate Film Festival in Sedona?
Oh my God, yeah.
No, I haven't. I've heard about it. I've heard about
You
it.
got it. So it's in Sedona. It's from like June 1st to 5th, and the woman, the CEO of it, Danette Williamson. I might have butchered her name, but she's got that same idea. It's incredible. I love her idea. She's bringing all of it. It's a spiritual film festival. She has people come watch the movies. Like last year, one of their top ones was a shamanistic one. And they went through his tribulations, the movie did, into his awakening. And so everybody kind of went through that. And then after it, they're doing this thing called Real Healing, R-E-E-L Healing.
Yeah.
And so everybody integrates the movie. They've been through it. And then they do this transformational session after it.
Yeah, so like this year, for example.
Yeah, so this year.
This year, what are they doing? Are they doing like a segment or a preview?
Yeah, well, they're...
So
yeah,
for
so
the-
Teal's film is
I've been-
going to be sneak previewed at the film festival
Yeah,
this
my
year.
film is called Shadows Before. No, it's not Shadows.
Open
Shadow. Yeah, the film that was done about me is a documentary called Open Shadow, and they're featuring like a sneak preview of that film at this film festival down in Sedona. And what's really super interesting is that after the film, they're going to show it to the audience, and after the film, I'm going to be on stage basically leading people through a process.
Oh.
So they're on you.
Yeah, here it is. And I do this all the time, so this is like,
That.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
yeah,
amazing.
that would be great. The beginning, I think I've got that open, the beginning of June.
Yeah, June 1st to 5th.
Somebody, one of my folders about it, but it's probably the same thing because it kind of came in, but now it's coming back. Like
Right.
the Periscope is for you. It's like you're saying, oh, you should come, really.
And the universe is up there, been like, how many times do we have to tell you?
That's right. Like tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, but this woman is talking just like you, is using film as a means for that. And it was amazing because, ever since we started coming out with Teal's material and sharing the message, and we live in Park City, and here's Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
I've gone the last few years and been like, okay, let's find the spiritual films and, meet with the people that are interested in this. And I started looking, and there was nothing. I'm like, what is going on? There's no spirit. There's no spirit. Hundreds of films, and there's nothing spiritual.
It's like lead-ins. Like,
Yeah.
I think Sundance is a lead-in to this thing called Spiritual
Yeah.
Cinema Circle.
Well,
Stephen
Danette-
Simon, and then this thing, it sounds even deeper.
Yeah, well-
because it brings the process
And
right in.
Danette said that she's been with the organizers of it, and she's like, what's with the spiritual film? And they're like, it's a soft genre. We're not going to do that.
If I have anything to do about it, it's no longer going to be a soft genre.
Right, you live here. This is your town.
Well, she said, and so she was as astounded as we were. And then so anyway, she started this film festival 3 years ago, and she said, right when she started, anybody with consciousness in the industry flocked to it
Sorry,
on their own dollar.
yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. It's really exciting to see that it is growing.
Yeah.
And, people are going
Yeah. Well, it's fun that we use film, and also with my community, I live with this close circle of friends. They're all over the world now, but like one time I thought I'm gonna dip into some really kind of areas that people are don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. So I decided to go into marriage, monogamy, polyamory, and I started a session. So everyone's like, "What?" And I said, so I played 3 of your videos on covering the main things.
God.
And then everybody stirred everything up. And then everybody's like, whoa. And then that got
Start
us
the conversation.
in. That started the conversation. Because, people even I have centers around the world, but even being out here in Utah, polygamy. You know, they have all these associations from the past, the Brigham Young and da-da-da-da. So, that was part of your history of growing up in different kind of things like that, and me too. So for me, that's the launch point.
Yeah.
Then another time I was a visual actress, was the first woman to kiss $1 million a year, which back then,
Yeah.
you know, imagine what that translates to today.
Oh my God.
So anyway, she's visiting a friend and she's all stressed out. She's doing Broadway, I think. She's doing theater, and she's all stressed out. And a friend says, "Why don't you go up and just go out into nature and just rest and take some time. I'll find you a place." So her friend finds her a place, and it's a convent. It's a working farm convent in northeastern United States. So she goes there, and she has this deep mystical experience, but she's a Hollywood movie star. So it's a Hollywood movie star, knows all the famous people, and now she's having these deep mystical experiences.
Nice.
So she gets terrified that she's going to be called to be a nun. A Hollywood actress has got all these leading guys that are asking her to be, you know, can we be together? We'll do the film together, and then this. So she goes to the head prioress or whatever she's called, and she goes, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And the prioress says, "Relax, you're a movie star, Dolores. That's your life, you know. Don't worry." So she's like, "Thank God." So she goes back. She goes out. She's getting married. She's got her fiance. Now she's got her fiance, Don. She's ready to get married to Don, and then all of a sudden she's starting to get these deep callings again. Like, oh my God! And he's like Catholic, and you know, and he's like, what? You know, and they're fiancés now. And all of a sudden she's drawn back, and she finally has to tell Don. Oh, he's like, "No," and she's like, "Yes." Jesus is calling. "No, Jesus." We are engaged. You know, the Catholic Church, Jesus doesn't break up these kind of things. It's not supposed to do that. So anyway, she's called. She goes, and she becomes
How conflicted.
into this. She goes in, and the whole documentary is she spent her whole life. She left Hollywood, and she became a nun, and then now she's still alive. It's a very devoted life. So I showed this to my community, and everyone, whoa, because it brings up all kinds of emotions for everybody.
Yeah.
And then I show this movie, and then I say, now we're going down to the Park City Library to do a double bill. I've just showed them God is the Bigger Elvis. They're all raw with emotions. Come on, we're going to Park City Library because there's a movie, Kumari, showing. So I showed them Kumari on top of that movie. It's a double whammy.
And people say I'm cruel.
Yes, and I mean, stir the wooden spoon, you know, stir it up. And then we come back after Kumari, we come back and we have this open session, and people can't sleep because they're just, it's such a heightened state of, oh my gosh, what is happening? But that's the thing, I'm kind of like a movie magician where the spirit just gets a hold of me, and then I get real animated, and we go into these really super deep experiences together, and then we have sessions because it will spawn a lot of therapy, a lot of processing after it.
Have you watched the new movie, is it the Denmark Girl or the?
Oh, the Danish girl.
Danish Girl? No, I haven't seen that yet. Is that
That
the
one
same
really-
kind of can opener of the mind?
Well, yeah. If we're gonna basically talk about movies that have really made an impact, I really like watching movies too. I watched The Danish Girl the other day, and it's basically about one of the very first transvestites ever, and it's like you watch that, and by the end of it, you're just so, you know.
You're open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You really gotta see that.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than being open.
One of my favorite, so traveling all over the world, like one of my favorite community gathering places that I found to date was this place called Passing Clouds in London. And it was this kind of young community that would get together and they'd watch conscious movies at the start of it. I mean, it was an amazing place because they do collective food for dinner. You know, everybody, you could cook or clean, you could pay, or you could be part of it.
Service.
So everybody eats together, and then they do conscious movies, and then they do discussions after it. It was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was funny because they played spirit science. They,
We could
talked
do
about
that too,
Teal and-
because you're traveling a lot,
Yeah.
I travel, but if we had some times where we were both back on home base, We could do like a little movie gathering and
movie
periscope
gathering.
it.
Yeah.
At least we could periscope the discussion. We could periscope the setup and then have everybody watch the movie.
Yep.
Well, it seems
And
like
then-
a great, easy thing for anybody to do. Like if anybody's watching, like if you
Yeah.
want to create a gathering, like what a good way to start a conversation, get people
Okay,
together.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Set it up for me though, because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a movie night.
That's what Sarah suggested too. Like, if I come to your event in the Unitas,
yeah.
then if there's facility to do a movie gathering, you could pick the movie because I can do it with basically any movie. I do it with. You pick the movie. Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds
You pick the
fun.
movie wherever you are. Because if you're getting married, maybe there'll be something that involves relationships or something that would be very, appropriate. And then you pick the movie, I come, I'll just do the gathering thing, and then we have a whole group of people that go down into.
Yeah, we'll get a big
things
outdoor
together.
projector. Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
I already know what you want.
That's good. You've already
Okay,
thought
you know
of
what you're gonna pick, but don't tell them.
Okay.
it. You've got to show up to see
Yeah.
it. That's part of the
Yeah.
hook.
Facebook, Teal Tribe Gathering,
Yeah.
16.
So thank you, everyone. This has been so much fun.
Thank you.
A slice of life from Hugo's Cafe. I've never been here. All these years I've been out here. I've
It's
never
the-
been.
Me neither.
It's
When
the
he said that
visitor
you were
center.
meeting us here, I'm like, what?
Where's that?
I didn't know this was in here either. It's the visitor center in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some metaphor there. I don't know. Anyways, okay.
Bye bye. Lots of love.